Hi, everyone. I just wanted to come on here because I just read this recent letter with English First, and it just kind of got me a little bit more disturbed. I thought I was done making these updates because it seemed like everybody had already said what they had to say. But there are still some companies who haven't really spoken. But EF wasn't one of them. They were one of the first ones to come out and say something. And I thought it was really nice of them, to come out and say something and be really upfront with their teachers. And Magic Ears followed suit, and they were very upfront with their teachers. I think they were very honest. And then we have, like VIP Kid. They said something, but then they changed, like the very next day. And it's like, what is that all about? Like, why can't these companies come out and be completely honest with us up front? And so I'm frustrated. I mean, the situation is just upsetting, but it's just frustrating to hear from these companies who are changing their stories on us. It's like they tell us one thing and then they go completely, in another direction. And it would it wouldn't be so bad if if they knew that if they didn't know what was happening. Like we knew we've had the story. We've been, kind of abreast of what possible changes are coming down the line. We've been hearing the story for a while now. So if we're hearing it where we are, it's pretty obvious that, they have more information than we do. So when they come out and say one thing, and or they come out and they're very, they're kind of saying that they haven't really heard anything, and they don't really know much of what to tell us. you know if they say that at first, and then they come back, and then they completely change and tell us something, that's very negative. It's like, we know what's happening. We know that, so just please tell us. So this is what I'm getting at. EF, they've released a letter, and at first they said it's nothing to worry about. They were going to continue expanding and letting people, giving teachers bookings, and, wasn't going to be a problem. They had been around for a while, so they gave the appearance that they're very stable, and they are a very stable company. They have been around for a while, and I'm sure they have many things in the works. But with this latest letter, it wasn't quite this. It didn't have the same tone. Okay, didn't have the same tone. So this is what their latest letter is saying. Dear instructor, you may have read about recent changes to regulations governing the ESL industry. We've heard this before. These regulations announced that by the Chinese government restrict activity for ESL companies, particularly the use of instructors that are based outside of China. Okay, we have taken these last days to better understand the new regulations and specifically how they will impact us as a company with both an online presence and physical schools in China. While we are still working out how to best navigate these new regulations, we do know for certain that we need to switch our online classes to be taught by instructors based in China. Until we have until we have recruited these teaching resources based in China, we will pause sales of our online programs. I don't know. I don't know if this is just the kids or the adults or both. It seems like it just would be the kids. We do plan on delivering all classes already sold to current students, but we expect that class volumes will gradually decrease over the coming months. All payments will continue to be issued as always, and we value your continued contributions to your students and to EF Teach online during this challenging time. We know this is tough news. It is disappointing to all of us. As instructors, you play such an important role in your students' lives. You get to see firsthand how your students grow in confidence and ability week after week during their lessons with you. Unfortunately, these new regulations and restrictions are beyond our control. Please know that we have for some time been investigating new markets and products where we hope to be able to expand together with you. We appreciate your patience as we work through the next steps, and we will send further updates as they become available. Okay, so they're not firing all their teachers, but they're just letting them know that they're going to shift and pivot and try to figure out a different plan. That is respectful. It is respectful, but I just feel like they probably knew this in the beginning, and to have the appearance like they didn't really know this information and how it was going to affect us as teachers with their company. I don't, I'm not believing it. So I just feel bad because I felt like EF was one of those companies that were going to be able to keep a lot of their teachers, and they weren't going to be able to, well, they're going to keep them, but they weren't going to drop in their bookings. I felt like that because they have adults and they have kids. I knew they had kids in other areas too, but it sounds like they're expecting to have some shifts and drops in their bookings. So um, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And I have heard and I've been hearing and I've suggested EF as a place for people to look, for a job for the future. But knowing this, it's like now I wouldn't suggest anybody look for a job with them right now because their future is uncertain. They don't really know how their bookings are going to be affected. So, you might just be waiting, you know. Um, so, yeah, I wanted to let you all know that I do have other things that I wanted to share with you too, because while that is, some negative news, there's a lot more positive news that's going on too. We're all shifting and changing, but there's been some good things like Protostar is a company that I wasn't really sure about because I know that they had a lot of Chinese students. But Protostar, I just found out that they actually only had 15% of their market that were with Chinese students. So um, those, the rest of their students are in Japan, Korea, and other Taiwan, other Asian countries. And they said they recently added like 700 new students to their, student base. So that's really nice. So that's a place to look, Protostar. If they're still, they just added some more students. So their teachers seem to be like they would be doing okay with Protostar. So Protostar is something to look into. Um, I've been hearing really good things about SplashLearn, which is a math company, so you can tutor kids in math through SplashLearn. It seems like people are being hired frequently with SplashLearn. Um, a new company that came up, like I have this list. I just did a couple of videos. If you haven't seen them, I did a couple of videos about different companies that you can work with or apply to, but they keep on popping up. There's still so many. I can't. It's my video was not even exhaustive. I'm going to have to put out a big list of what I see and just have to keep adding to it. I have one list, but I'm working on doing another one because there was too many Chinese companies with that one. So Easy Talk was another one that I've never really heard of. Easy Talk. Easy Talk. Very simple. I'll try to add links in the description box later if people want to know how to spell these things. Elevate K to 12. This is another company where you can do math tutoring and science, and they actually offer a $15 an hour pay. I don't know what Easy Talk is. I just heard that is something that people are getting hired at, and but then with Novakid, even though a lot of people have gotten hired with Novakid, um, they are on a hiring freeze right now until September. That's what I've heard. So you can try, but I've heard that they are on a hiring freeze until September. So in September, get over there because they're a good company to work with. I heard at first that they wanted you to have, or read actually at first that they wanted you to have 20 hours a week availability, but then I heard that they went down to 10. So that might be true. If you guys know of anything, if you've heard of anything, please, leave it for us to know for sure. But, 10 is a lot more doable than 20. And I think their base pay is somewhere between 18 and 20 an hour. So it's a nice base pay. So yeah, those are my few updates that I wanted to give you guys right now, as things are changing. Um, hopefully it's helpful. And yeah, let me know what your thoughts are about EF, because yeah, they were nice company. That a lot of people really loved them, had really good stable hours. But with this, I don't know how people are going to feel about them. Although they still do have the adult side, that I don't think that's really going to be affected still. I think you'll still have that. But with EF, I do know that you have to apply to the adult side or the children's side. So I don't know if it could be if you could work with both at the same time. I think you can. I think you can. But I know you have to apply to them separately, you know. So, yep, that's all for now. And I hope you guys are doing well. Take care. Bye.